in the Asia-Pacific region. He has been recognized as a national mobile expert for Microsoft Corporation with a Microsoft Valuable Professional Award from 2008 to 2011. Mehdi frequently speaks at educational institutions and professional conferences. In 2007, he launched his high-tech blog, Geek in Touch, followed by the Geek in Touch events in Paris, bringing over 700 students every trimester on one day for sharing the new technological products and services. In late 2010, he started to provide consulting services and digital advisory for mobile application development and web hosting services for the China market through Upski Limited as a freelance consultant. He holds a master's degree in information systems from the Academy of Computer Science in Paris. He is currently heading the Asian IT department at ITAM International Sourcing. Mehdi BEDADI.
Wow. Let's say that just I'm a guy who's doing stuff, which is curious. So thanks for the biography, which is big. I'm happy to start now because actually I will not have to fight for 20 minutes, 10 minutes. But I have planned something for average 15-20 minutes, and I hope it's going to help. I wrote that during that week, but actually this is things that I think everybody learning a little bit when you work, when you try to develop your own businesses. To be frank, most of the things that I will tell you might surprise you, might not surprise you, but in the end, for sure you heard that, but you will just discover at which point it's really true when you're just facing it. It's called 10 Lessons for Entrepreneurs. My name is Mehdi BEDADI, and if you have Twitter and if you want to interact with me, this is my Twitter nickname. Okay, first, there is a saying that I really like, which is someone wise learns from his own mistake, someone wiser learning from mistake of others. I'm not expecting you that you will believe everything that I will say during the next minutes, right? But if it can help you to just catch up a little bit, just if you can just get some knowledge and maybe using it in order to saving time for you, it might help. Okay. First thing I would like to talk for every entrepreneur, it's about sales. And when I speak about sales, it's because you cannot imagine the numbers of young entrepreneurs who start a business and sometimes they're not focusing on sales. I'm not saying that to be successful, you need to sell a lot. I mean, what's the meaning of being successful as an entrepreneur? He's not the one who's selling the most. He's not the one who's making the most of money. No. This is the one who can sell a product or services which have added value for the client, but the client is ready to pay for. And I'm not saying that you have a right of maybe looking for funds or stuff like this, but at least if you can find someone ready to pay your product just one time, at least to use as an indicator to be sure that you're reaching someone who really needs what you want, what you're selling. You can go for it, you can keep up, you can try to get reach the market that you have. Because if you cannot sell it, I mean, at some point after, I don't know, 6 months, 1 year, depends on which industry, of course. Maybe there is no, maybe your product is designed for no one. Maybe you don't have any real targets. Maybe there is no market for what you want to sell. So you need to think about that. Actually, this is very, very, very big because I know lots of entrepreneurs. I met lots of entrepreneurs in China, in France. Most of the time, instead of focusing on sales, just a little bit at the beginning, they think about partnership. They do some kind of partnership with lots of companies. It's a little bit like Mr. Berbo saying about collaboration is not that great. But it's a little bit the same with partnership. Most of the time, two companies, and especially in China, I saw that a lot, try to do some partnership to compensate the weakness of others. One have clients, one have product. The one who have clients cannot sell exactly the services that he wants, so you try to do some kind of partnership. Instead of focusing on partnership and wasting time at the beginning of your journey, you need to focus a little bit on sales. It's some kind of indicator. Use it. If you can sell at least once, okay, you're good. And partnership sales, really. So not every time, but come on. Point number 2, prototype, product or services. I mean, something workable. If you're selling something, because you will focus on sales, you need to have something workable, right? And prototype is key. If you don't have something to sell, if you don't have something which is working, otherwise you're just someone who just speaking about something but not doing really anything. You need to have something to sell. Of course, I mean, when you start, when you're a young entrepreneur, maybe you don't have that much money. Maybe it depends on the industry, but I don't think that everybody here wants to start some kind of biotech company who requires lots of millions in funds in order to get something, in order to get a product, right? Sometimes some people just, or there is a cliche of people starting in a garage. It could be in your room, but I mean, at least you need to have a working prototype. And I mean, if tomorrow I met 2 companies who require my help or just advice, whatever, and there is one which has a great business plan, one who have a great PowerPoint presentation, one who can pitch, but really pitching like really pitch. You know, you feel it. You have you really want to believe it, but have no working prototype. And in the other side, I have another company who have a working prototype, but don't do good PowerPoint presentation. Don't do good business plans because they don't know how to make it, because maybe they're tech guys or whatever. Cannot pitch because they are maybe too technical. They're not very easy to speak in front of many people. I can tell you that in few hours, you can fix a PowerPoint issue. You can fix a business plan issue. You can fix a pitching issue. You know, you can get used to speak to someone. But in few hours, you're not solving your problem about having a working prototype, product or services, whatever. And I'm not saying that what you want to sell has to be perfect. I mean, for those who maybe read a little bit about which is lean startup and everything, it's good to have something who's working, maybe not perfect, and at least you're selling once, and after you get some feedbacks, and you improve it step by step. But you don't have to wait to have a perfect prototype in order to try to selling it. But at least you have to have something to sell, and something which is working. If you don't have it, how do you want to work? It's really key. Don't focus on the business plan too much, or on the PPT too much, or the way you're pitching too much. Focus on having something which is working. Number 3, marketing. This one, okay, there is lots of startups today who's selling different things, who can use a lot of tools as leverage in order to get known. You don't need to invest a lot in marketing. Not every time. Today, we are in 2013. I think everybody using social media, right? We are in the social media era. You have Twitter, Google+, Facebook, depending on your targets. You have also, we are in China, so of course you have Weibo, Weixin. We need to think about mobile too. You have Renren. You have many tools. If you're doing B2C, if you really need to maybe transmit some value, to get known, to communicate. So what I want to say is about marketing is free, or at least it's very cheap, and you can use it. And when you start a little company, when you don't have that much money, it can help you to catch lots of things, because you cannot just burn money. You cannot afford that, and not at that stage at least. Infrastructure. This is exactly the same for infrastructures. You don't need to have, 200 square meter office in order to work. When you start, you need what? You need a laptop, you need internet connections. I mean, today you have VoIP services, you can use share offices, you have lots of resources that you can use for very cheap price, which is completely affordable when you start something. Even on the internet, I'm a IT guy, so I think about tech, but when I think about tech, I mean, right now with few thousand of money, a few thousand of dollars, you can have 1 terabyte on internet and cloud services. You can have Amazon Web Services, Rackspace Cloud Services. You can have a lot for not that much money in the end. You don't need to hosting your own servers. You don't need to think about taking care of them, buying, to have what we call the TCO, the total cost of ownership on all those things. So infrastructure also is cheaper than before, and it cannot stop you to start something. You just have to put a little amount of money. Of course, you need to bootstrap. I mean, when you start something, of course you need to bootstrap. You cannot start with just 100 bucks. You could, depending on what you want to do, but I mean, at least so just a little bit of money. Infrastructure is really, really cheap nowadays. Using it, because what you can do now, I mean, even with few ground, you can compete with big companies. Could be e-commerce, could be anything. Everywhere, everything, every time. I know. This one, it's there is lots of people that I met who maybe went into a business school, maybe not. They're all thinking that in some way there is some kind of order to build their company, to start their venture. They think that first they need to get money. After, they think that they need to maybe build a little team if they need some specific talents, some specific skills. After, they think that they will build the product that they want. After, they will think that they need to sell it, to communicate on it and to sell it. And after, to collect the money. This is the 5 general key steps that we use to hear, that we use to think. Actually, it never worked like that. There is no special pattern. There is not a sequential order of things to do when you start your own business. Actually, you have to do everything at the same time, everywhere. You have to find money. At the same time, you need to sell something. At the same time, you need to improve a little bit your product, or maybe to make it because it's not completely ready. At the same time, you need to recruit someone. At the same time, you need to collect the money maybe that for services that you already sold. You have to do everything at the same time. And this is a combination of balance, of doing all those things, that makes the things working. Of course, if you're growing, you need to recruit more, but always you will have those 5 stuff to do at the same time, everywhere, every time. There is no rule. It's like that. So you have to deal with that, and actually, this is your skills to deal with all those matters at the same time. Who makes you successful? Because in the end, you have been able to sell, you have been able to deliver a product or services with an added value to your customers. Everybody is happy, your company is growing, you're making money, your customers are well served. It's a win-win deal, but it's all about dealing with all those 5 things. Okay, we have a venture capitalist, I heard, in the room. 51%. I think, I'm sure that there are some people who heard something about, I've got 51% of my company, even if there is other people who is investing in my company, I've got the control. I need to say something that the 51% rule, or even if you are the biggest shareholder in the company, it does not mean that you are in control. It means that you have lots of share, for sure, but you have to understand that when you sell some share, when you take the money from outside, it's not just your company anymore. It's a company also with people who invested in, and you have some responsibility. I mean, as CEO, general manager, whatever big title you could get, it doesn't matter. You have responsibilities about what did you budget, what did you forecast, what did you plan. Let's say that tomorrow I heard Tmall stories earlier. Let's say that you have an e-commerce company, and let's say that you're selling some specific product, you have your market, and you have been funded because you needed more money in order to scale your business. Nice. And at some point you plan maybe, I don't know, to increase the next trimester of 10% of your sales. And for some other reasons, it could be anything, actually you're losing money. Let's say that you don't make it at all. Let's say that you're losing a lot. You're doing a mistake. Because as a leader, you couldn't anticipate what happened. Let's say that it happens. You have to know that there is a board, that you have also to give some feedbacks of the people who invested in the money in your company, and you cannot say just, I'm sorry, it's not working like that. you have what we call a fiduciary duty, meaning that you have to meet your numbers. Meaning that you cannot say, oh, it's just a mistake, let's continue like that. If you have a problem with your investors one day, it will not come to something like, oh, nobody is agree with me? Okay, let's put as a vote. Because I have 51%, then I can vote for me, and I'm sure it's working. It's not working like that. It never comes to a vote. I mean, this is just, of course, they cannot remove your shares. This is your shares, right? But for sure, they can take you out of a company if they might think that you underserve the company in the way you're leading it. You need to think about that too. But I mean, it's not a bad deal to be fun, right? It's also good things. It means that also there is other people who's believing in you. It means that you have more market to get. It means that you're selling also a little bit of your company, so you get paid for that, right? So, but anyway, don't think that because you have 51%, or this is because you have a major share in a company, that you are in control. When you take the money from outside, it's not just your business, it becomes the business of everybody who invested in. You have responsibility about that. Don't forget that. And if you meet your forecast, if you meet your sales, of course, nobody will remove someone which is promising and who always deliver. Hire different. This one is for the people who have a company who grow, and that's good to grow. I met lots of people, marketing people, technical people. They used to hire lots of times people like themselves. Me, I'm a technical guy. I can tell you that I did sometimes a mistake to take with me for some businesses people like me, which is technical. And sometimes this is not what I really need. Like I said, you need in the end to what? To create your product, to selling it, and to collect the money in the end. And for all those three steps, you need a balance in the skill set in your company or with your partners or with people which is with you. And for that, you need to hire different. You need to hire people completely different. You are very marketing people, you might need someone technical or engineering. And you really need to think about that, because lots of people don't think about that until the end, or they're losing money on the way, and after they think about hiring different. Hiring different does not mean that not the same as you. I mean, of course, the behavior of someone who's hiring a clone, it's regular, but there are also other things. You could think about hire someone better than you. Sometimes, I mean, real leader, they know that sometimes they cannot compete with some skill set, and they tend to. I mean, the best leaders they used to hire people better than them. Like they are A players, they hire A plus players, like people which is really can bring a real difference. When you are in a big group, it could be different, because sometimes some people thinking, oh, I don't want to hire this because that guy will take my seat in 2 years. How will I deal with that? But you are not in a big group, right? You're not in you're in your own company. It's different. You really want to make it grow. This is your baby. You need to take care of it. You need to bring the best talent for that. And most of the time, people who do not hire head plus player, I mean, this is always, you have some kind of rule. The D player is hired by C players, and V players hired C players. It's always working like that. People just a bit higher, but actually you need to take someone better than you who can even take the lead one day. Who knows? So hire different. Patents and protection. It's very, very specific. Lots of people thinking that getting an ID, a proof of concept, getting a product, a way to do business with a patents to protect your ID or to protect your business with patents will protect you. Actually, a patent will not really protect you when we will really pay attention to that. I explain myself. When it takes years for field, depends on the country, depends on the industry, but it takes a long time to make a patent. And even if you get it, there is lots of big companies, when they see a good idea, when they see a good thing, they will not hesitate to use your technology or your little things that you protected in order to make money. They will use it, and maybe if they have more money, they could scale up. They can really make more money quickly. And even if you decide one day, you said, oh, I don't know, a big company like, let's say, We are in China, let's say Baidu. Baidu stole something from you that you protected. Okay, great, I will sue them. I will sue them and I will make millions. Oh, they're doing better than me, I will make billions. Okay, good. How long it's gonna take to sue them? 5 years? 9 years? Do you think that you will be able to stand on a financial point of view, your company, until that the court gives who's right, who's wrong? And even if you're right, after 9 years and you're still alive and your company is still living, good. Do you think that they will pay right away? They might not. Just for, maybe you heard, I think, who using smartphones, Android smartphones in the room? Okay, we have few. For instance, Android has been developed by Google, and the first Android smartphone has been launched in end of 2008, something like this. I can tell you that there is a lot of patents which not belong to Google and who allow to use lots of Java technology, and there is already lots. There is Oracle, the company who own all of those technologies, who since years they're attacking Google, and right now they didn't get any dime from Google for that. And this is also the same. I'm sure that recently you heard about the battle between Apple and Samsung, about all the patents in all the countries, about, oh, you took my ID because it's me who invented the double tap on the screen. It's me who invented the multi-gesture on the screen. It's me who invented the iPhone black, the form of the phone which black, or the same which white, or the rounded square on the icons. There's patents for everything. It will take lots of times, and actually this is not really where the battle is. You need to focus on what you should do, selling your product. So patents will not protect you. And plus, if you have an idea, if this is a good idea, or if you have a technology, this is a good one, normally it shouldn't be stolen. If you think it good, if you think it right, you should think a way about protecting it, not with a patent. Always deliver. This is for every entrepreneur who's telling them they are serious. If you do something, if you promise something, you need to deliver. It could be to your customers, it could be with your employees also. You need to deliver what you promise. It could be with your investors also, like I said, because when you take money from outside, you need to deliver what you said. You need to hold on your promises. Of course, you will have quality issues. Of course, you will have deadline issues because you will losing time, because you will meet unexpected problem. But at the end, the only thing that we care, it's about, did you deliver in time, yes or no? And I can tell you that on 10 times, if 9 times you deliver on time and 1 time you're not delivering, people will just remembering that when you fail. And it's your credibility which is at stake. So it's really critical. Last one is not coming from me, and I'm sure you already heard that a lot. Actually, all the points that I said before, you heard that maybe a lot, but passion. Passion is necessary. Why passion is necessary? We're in China, there is Confucius, who said once, if you do a job that you like, you might have a feeling that you never worked. And actually this is true. And I think also, even Steve Jobs said something at Stanford University a few years ago, saying that do not looking for the money, looking for what you like. This is true. You have to act by passion, you have to be passionate, because when you're passionate, you don't think about the working hours, you just focus, and you don't stop until that you get it done. The thing is, I think that what Steve Jobs and many others said before, it's true, but it's not complete. Actually, there is something missing. Actually, there is a half part missing, which is key, which is making it all different. It's about share your passion. It's good that you believe it. It's better if others believing also. It could be your customers, it could be your employee. If your employee believe as much as you in what they do, they will be engaged, they will be involved. Same for your customers. When you're selling, it's about convincing your customers that you're selling something that it will help them, right? But if they are in touch with you, if they get the same emotion as you, I can tell you that it's not about convincing. They will believe, and when someone believes, you don't need to convince. Of course, you will go naturally for that. This is the same for lots of brands. Lots of brands make their customers believing. Could be, even look at Apple fans, for instance. I know I'm very smartphone oriented, but look at Apple fans. does not just buy the product because it's better, it's just because they know, they think, they believe that that company makes product really better and they are passionate in it. And this is why they bought it, and they don't try maybe to check if there is maybe a cheaper way to have the same thing with other products. It's just about belief. So it's all about sharing your passion. This is the last 10 point. I have just one little thing that I will finish on. I'm in Shanghai since 4 years now, and recently, almost 2 years ago, I joined a non-profit association called JWEF. This is a French acronym who's saying French Junior Chamber International, and it's just young people who's doing lots of stuff. Lots of stuff about entrepreneurship, but also other stuff. And I just want to talk to you about just two little projects about entrepreneurship that it's leading there. One, it's called Business. I think that you may have got some papers at the entrance. It's just about bringing entrepreneurs on regular events every month, and also to propose to young entrepreneurs who have an idea or want advice, to proposing a little bit of coaching with confirmed entrepreneurs who can talk to them, who can advise them. It's free. So if you want to get in touch with us, don't hesitate to take the paper that we have in the entrance. It might be helpful if maybe you want to start something, and even if you just want to meet people, connect and understand and share, and all the reasons why you're here today. So, and another one, it's madeinshanghai.tv, which is actually just a website of lots of entrepreneurs here in Shanghai who's leading different companies in different industry, internet or even textile. And just go on the website. You have few videos of few people who are speaking about the things that they met every day, good things, bad things. You can learn also some stuff. It's a little bit like this, but on the web. Thank you.